Well, Greg Murphy at the moment overall on points is on 144 points thanks to that victory in race 2 as they warm up now for the final race here at Pukekohe. I think we can expect some fireworks because we've got some very fast cars at the front and the back of the grid. Let's go through it on your Nintendo GameCube starting grid. There it is. Murphy versus Bright at the front. Ambrose and Todd Kelly will start from 3 and 4. Rick Kelly, the Holden Young line, from 5. Stephen Richards in 6. Neil Crompton starts in 7. The yellow boxes indicate where they qualified and then at the end of race 2, so you can see exactly where they've been moving up and down. Bradley Jones in 13th position, dropped a couple after race 2. Jason Richards, the local hope, will start. There we go, 17 down to 20, takes us down to John Bow. Paul Wheel in 21, Anthony Tratt, Bernard back in 23, and there is Mark Skate. The winner of race 1, the man who had pole position, will start from 28 on the grid. Look out for him as the 5-time series champion tries to work his way through the field as they warm up. Let's check in with Rusty. Greg?
Well, guys, the car came in during the warm-up just prior to this race. They have checked the engine. The way they worked on it was fantastic. They've cable-tied a few little hoses, and it is okay. Also, an incident between Todd Kelly and Stephen Richards from the previous race may be under investigation.
Well, the engine Greg Rust was talking about was, of course, the engine in Mark Skaife's car. He went out early in race 2. The team believes it's a top-end failure, maybe a valve spring or something like that, so they've done the engine change.
Okay, here we go. The crowd stands up. It's a really big crowd here at Pukekohe. Perfect race conditions for the final race of the day, and Jason Bright looks to have got a bit of a jump on Greg Murphy, but Murphy pulls him back. The big mover is Todd Kelly into turn 1. It's a Kmart 1-2 to start the race.
Oh, look at this. Double O Motorsport Falcon way offline there. Might be Neil Crompton as the field push their way through.
Oh, big spin from Brad Jones and Jason Richards. Through the Boost Mobile S as they go, and Bradley Jones comes a cropper again.
See, one of the Valvoline Cummins cars was in trouble as well. So the field sort themselves out as they thunder down the back straight for the first time. Kmart 1-2, Greg Murphy in command from his teammate Todd Kelly. Just a little lock break on the inside there from Greg Murphy. A few puffs of smoke from a few locked tyres. 2 Double O Motorsport Falcons in the middle of that battle. Crompton has in fact pushed his way through in front of Craig Lowndes. So Crompton on a charge. He's made up 20 positions so far from 2 races.
He's a man on a mission this weekend, Neil Crompton. The 2 better electrical cars go through. What a start from Todd Kelly.
There's Mark Skaife. Stuck in the pack there, expect Skaife to come in for a stop very early. Let's have a look at this Nintendo replay of that first corner.
Oh, Jason Richards just went straight across the grass.
T-boned.
Rejoined the track. That's exactly right, Mark. T-boned Brad Jones in car 21. One of the Castrol cars, that'd be Larry Perkins at the back of the pack. Takes some action. Wow, to get out of the way.
And here come the cars in for their compulsory stops. Craig Baird, Team Brock choosing to stop early. Same with the Lansvale racing team. Skaife up to 14, so Skaife has not chosen to come in yet because he's still making up lots of positions.
Those are the cars that were involved in that little tangle. This one wasn't. Rick Kelly 0-2, the Holden Young line. He's in and out, tyre preservation. Will be absolutely crucial, and I know that Greg Rust was checking out the state of the tyres before this race. Rusty, what have you got for us on the tyre scene? You were telling us that Greg Murphy's in pretty good shape.
Certainly is, guys. I've spoken to Robbie Crawford down at Kmart Racing. He tells me they have got a set of tyres which they are going to put on after Greg Murphy's stop, which have only done 3 laps this weekend. They've deliberately saved them for this final race. They lightly roaded them and they're ready for action. Now, Rick Kelly came in for his stop just moments ago. They told Mark Skaife to stay out for an extra lap. Here he is now in pit lane. Mark Skaife standing by for a stop.
Yeah, well, he's got 12 really good sets of tyres. 12 good tyres, I should say, 3 sets, because the car has been using its tyres so effectively here. It's just got an enormous amount of rubber to choose from. You can make sure that car will have the 4 best out of the bunch as he goes after the leaders in this race. Here he comes. Engine problems in race 2. Now he's back in action for 3. Greg?
Good slick stop by the looks of things so far, Mark. And he'll get out in front of a bit of traffic here in pit lane. Behind him, Rodney Forbes and Tony Longhurst. So, Skaife on the charge.
This will be interesting to see what progress he can make through the field.
Grant Denya's in there as Greg Murphy pulls in.
Bit of a late change. It was supposed to be Todd Kelly to come in. A slight delay on the back of the tyre. They held him there. They thought some traffic was on its way. So a slightly longer, probably 2 seconds longer than it really had to be.
Well, the time's starting to slip out. Here comes Jason Bright, second of the Holden Racing Team Commodores. So everyone getting these stops out of the way early. Tyre durability. The tyres don't wear here, they just get hot. So he's come out after Greg Murphy. Car 51 just beat car 2, the Holden Racing Team, to the punch. So Murphy rejoins the battle. Todd Kelly still out there. Marcus Ambrose in second. Stephen Richards in third. Trying to make as much time up as they can while they've got some clear track conditions. 58.8 fastest time for Kelly. 58.8 for Ambrose. Richards. The fastest time in this race of 58.35 from Mark Scaife. He's just put that time in on his fresh set of tyres. Here's Todd Kelly. Brad?
Yeah, Todd's been complaining on the sighting lap of a bad vibration. He's hoping it might have been just a dud tyre, but obviously the change of sets now will help that with a much quicker stop than Greg Murphy's.
Marcus Ambrose in as well at Stone Brothers.
We'll see how this stop goes, guys. Everything looking good for Marcus Ambrose so far. At the end of this stop, we'll show you the tyre which came off David Bernard's car. Ambrose hits the deck, gets out in front of Todd Kelly. Good stop by the Stone Brothers Racing Team, but we'll show you this tyre. This is the one that's come off the right front of David Bernard's car. Now, Darryl picked it before. He said it looked as though it was deflating for some reason. Have a look at this tyre. He apparently coming down towards the hairpin was trying to avoid some debris on the circuit, had a brake lock-up, and that is the result.
Greg Rust on the spot there as we go back to what will be the race lead once the 2 or 3 cars in front of them have made their compulsory stops. Murphy currently 4th on the track, Bright 5th, Ambrose 6th, but they will move up to be the race leaders, and this is a hell of a battle, because keep in mind, Greg Murphy and Jason Bright are in contention for 2nd in this championship. Now, as a result of Jason Bright losing 20 points for his collision with Murphy, Surface Paradise, the gap between them now is only 15 points. So Greg Murphy well in contention to break HRT's long-established wish to have a 1-2 in the championship.
That's right. Just to clarify exactly that situation, there was a gap there that we knew about, and officials hadn't really adjusted the points with the extra 20 to take off Jason Bright. By the time that's all done, the championship points now stand like this: 2,064 for Scaife, so you can forget about the title because that's already gone. What Mark's talking about is 2 and 3, 1376 versus 1361, so there's only 15 points in it for 2nd and 3rd. Richards and Ambrose really need to make up some big-time points to start catching them. Can Greg Murphy win the overall round here and in the process stop Holden Racing Team from getting that 1-2? There's still another round to go, so there's still plenty of points on offer. But you just get the feeling that Jason Bright is determined to fight really hard, not just to stop Greg Murphy winning this weekend, but to also stop him from claiming that HRT 1-2 that they so desperately want. At the moment, Murph versus Bright. They both got clear road and clear skies as well.
This place being so tough on tyres, it's really going to come down to good chassis setup and good driver strategy, trying to make those tyres live. This track surface very smooth. The tyres, the drivers say they don't actually wear out. It's just the fact that they get hot. That makes them very spongy and very greasy. And you have to back off to try and get them back to a workable temperature. We saw Jason Bright struggling with that in race 2. The car getting very sideways as he tried to hunt down the opposition. Rusty?
Well, Steve, the initial indications were that the car may have overheated on the run back into pit lane, but the actual hit was so hard that it's punctured the radiator. Is that right?
Yeah, it's quite disappointing, actually, but the tyres have hit the car that hard that the radiator's got a big hole in it. A few of the hoses are split, and it's put us out of the race, so it's a bit unfortunate. We were going great guns. I don't know where I was, but I'd made up quite a few spots. Just really happy with the car, and we were pretty confident of a pretty big result in that race, and we were looking for it, but unfortunately, once again, someone got him away.
Fingers crossed for Sandown.
Oh, I hope so, thanks.
There's been an amendment down here at pit lane for races 2 and 3 involving just the entry over there. You can see the officials have built what can be described as a traffic island. They found that in the first race a lot of the drivers were cutting it so fine to spend as little amount of time in pit lane as possible that they're actually driving through the Kmart Racing Team's pit. Now that was a safety concern. So what they've done is they've put that island there. It has made it a little bit tight for the Kmart team to get in, but there's nothing these teams won't do to try and minimise the time in pit lane.
Well, while you're talking, Grant, Mark Scaife has gone off.
Average on the brakes. That's all that.
He's saying that the tyres were average under brakes, so he's gone off at Holden Hairpin and collected.
Come in, mate. This chock is full of dirt.
Yeah.
Chock is full of dirt.
A whole heap of dirt for his trouble. You're going to have to clear that out. So he started back in 28th position, and he'd worked his way right up through the field, but now he's starting to slide all the way back down the rear. So Mark Scaife, the bad luck that plagued him in race 2 and put him out with an engine problem, has now sprung back and got him again in race 3 on lap 16 of 54. That is good news for this man.
Well, puts him in the box seat. Yeah, it puts him in the box seat to win the round overall for the 2nd year in a row. He hasn't done a clean sweep this time. He's had to take a back seat to Scaife on pole position in victory in race 1. But at the moment, he's got 195 points for the round. Bright, 148. So Greg Murphy looking very well positioned here to make it 2 from 2. Now, we've just heard from pit lane, the HRT boards are telling Scaife to pack it in.
Just down here, guys, there's lots of dirt, obviously, in the intake of car 1. Also, point of interest for you, Craig Lowndes' car when it came past wasn't sounding very good at all, so possibly a problem for the 00 Motorsport Ford. We might try and get a word here from Mark Scaife, but he looks as though he is getting out of the car, boys, is he?
Oh, there's a big battle going on here, Rusty. It's getting pretty hot and heavy too. Oh, a little bit sideways. You can see the number 2 car snap sideways there as he tried to get 600 horsepower to the ground. Mark Scaife, we hear, has stepped out of the car. He is out of this race. A weekend that promised so much has ended disastrously for the 5 times series champ.
Under safety car conditions after Cameron McConville went off, they've cleared off car number 3, but boy, some dramas as safety cars been lapping around. Craig Lowndes' day is over. He has pulled out. Jason Bright has had to come in and change over his gear lever, of all things,
yep,
as
and
the dramas continue.
Gear linkage problem in car 2. So Holden Racing Team have had a disastrous day so far.
But back to business we go. The car pulls away and the race restarts. Greg Murphy is in the lead and Marcus Ambrose is now in 2nd position. Todd Kelly and Rick Kelly are 3rd and 4th, but Glenn Seaton is jammed in there. He's a lap down at the moment, so that's not racing order that you're seeing. The racing order, in fact, is Murphy, Ambrose, Kelly and Kelly. Stephen Richards is in 5th. That's the fight for the lead, car number 51.
Isn't Rick Kelly having a super day for the Holden Young Lions team? Up there in 4th. 19-year-old kid mixing it with the biggest names in the business. He's really come on in 2002. And here's the man in 2nd, the highest placed of the Fords. Marcus Ambrose, deep under brakes into Holden Hairpin. That's the man he's got to catch, Greg Murphy. But Murphy's on fire here. His main opposition from Holden Racing Team have both fallen by the wayside, and now he's got a clear track in front of him and the New Zealand fans cheering him on.
John Bow has moved all the way up to 6th position. He's going for another top 10 finish. It'll be his 5th of the year. On board we go with the Castrol Commodore of Russell Ingall, who's holding down 8th at the moment.
This is great for Greg Murphy too in his fight with HRT in the championship. Was just 15 points between himself and Jason Bright, but when they came into this race, and with Bright dropping way down the order, Murphy is perfectly placed to get a big jump on Bright with 1 round remaining in the championship. It's going to spoil Holden Racing Team's party of a 1-2. That's what they want.
It's always good to see the movers on our PlayStation 2 race score, and you can see there that David Bernard's moved up 13 positions. And Garth Tander has moved up 14 since the start. Larry Perkins has picked up 16 places. And John Faulkner in car number 46 started 27th, is now up to 15.
Look at David Bernard. He's had an up and down sort of weekend. And you can see, as Darryl Beattie pointed out earlier on, he's moved his way back after a problem to get his way up into the top 10. He's in 10th position, in fact. So the Caltex Haviland Ford going up and down the result sheet like a yo-yo, but looking strong in this final run. So the order: Murphy, Ambrose, Todd Kelly, his brother Rick Kelly, Stephen Richards, John Bow up in 6th. Then it's Ingall. Stephen Johnson did well too to climb his way back from adversity. Tony Longhurst, David Bernard in 10th. You're riding with the enforcer, Russell Ingall. He's in 7th spot. John Bow in 6th. Dunlop in-car camera gets it into 6th gear. Full throttle, 270 kilometres an hour. You can see the aerodynamic lift on the bonnet there as the car is going at such a high speed. Seaton gets right out of the way and gives these leading cars racing room. John Bow goes through. Russell Ingall right up behind him. Tony Longhurst, Stephen Johnson in there too. Here's a comparison. The last 5 lap times between the first and second place cars. And you can see Ambrose on 3 of those 5 occasions quicker than the Kmart Commodore.
Well, look at this, the better electrical car. They're going to go 3 wide into turn 1. Stephen Johnson's there. Bernard just went right around the outside, while Johnson and Tony Longhurst, it looks like, were dicing for position going down the front there. So Ford versus Ford versus Ford. Then you've got another better electrical car, and also Garth Tander or Jason Bargwanna. That's Tander locked in there with that fight as well. So that was fighting for a top 10 position. 8, 9 and 10 was that little fight there, and Bernard went straight around Johnson and Longhurst and bumped himself up a couple of places. Darryl Beattie.
Yeah, I just spoke to Ross Stone about the pace car time there, and he was saying, yes, it definitely was an opportunity for him to cool the rear tyres down for Ambrose, but normally it takes 5 laps after the start to get back up to speed again.
Well, this has been a disaster for the Holden Racing team. Jason Bright getting back into the action after fixing that gear linkage problem, and he has retired.
It's not your day, it's just not your day.
And he gets the word from crew chief Matty Crawford, it is just not your day. Certainly retiring in a huge cloud of smoke. So David Bernard, no lack of courage from the Caltex Haviland Ford. You saw him take 2 positions as they swept through that daunting turn 1. So he's really got his head down here, charging hard. He's in 8th position now. As joining us in the commentary box, Craig Lowndes, 00 Motorsport Ford.
How you going?
What took you out?
We actually had we lost a cylinder in the engine. We're not sure exactly what caused it or what actually is the problem, but we had engine problems. So the guys decided to sort of give it a day and put it away.
Plenty of action down here in the field. That's a really tight turn, and that one at the end of the back straight. Doesn't it cause some dramas?
Well, it is. It's 268 kilometres an hour. You're on the hard cut in top gear, so physically can't go any faster down that back straight, and really to pull it up for a first gear corner, quite incredible.
Look at this battle here between the better electrical Ford and the Castrol Commodore. Hard under brakes. Larry Perkins wants to argue. Goes right up the inside of Max Wilson and picks up a spot.
Robbie Crawford all smiles down at the Kmart race team, because with Brighty out, that's obviously, if Murph can stay where he is, moves him up to 2nd.
Yeah, it certainly does, but it's still a long way to go when we've been in this position before and haven't really made it, so all fingers crossed.
Are you thinking about the championship at this stage?
Oh, for sure we are, but still a long way to go, and see what happens at the end of the day.
To finish first you must finish, they say.
Most definitely.
Oh. Thanks, Grant. And you can see problems back at the pack here. Bargwanna with everything locked up in the Valvoline Cummins Commodore.
I don't know how he got through that without taking somebody out. He just skidded his way through the Holden hairpin like it wasn't there. There's Neil Crompton still fighting away. Goes around the outside, extreme outside of Jason Bargwanna.
We didn't see Neil Crompton's pit stop, Craig. Did he have a problem there? Because he was very handily placed in the opening laps. He ended up back in 20th something.
Yeah, he had some problems early in the early laps going into turn 5, which is that hairpin, first gear hairpin. He had some problems with brakes and put him back a bit further on.
Let's have a look at this replay. Look at Bargwanna. He's got everything locked up. Smoke pouring from 2 or 3 tyres at one stage. Slid it into the corner backwards.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's actually flat spotted that front right. It was heavily smoking, so as you can see, they're laying some rubber trying to get some traction.
He's just found a new line through the hairpin, Lowndes.
Well, hey, if you can get through it, let's take it. Hey, another one.
Oh, look at this.
That's Larry Perkins.
Gee, there's some cars locking up down there. I guess it's a situation where the tyres now, the 12 tyres, they got all getting pretty tired, if you excuse the pun, and now they're starting to lock brakes as a result.
Well, they are definitely. The first race there, today, we had no rear tyres left, so it was almost like on a skating ring. And I can imagine these guys now having their second race today, doing another 54 laps. Quite bad, quite torturing on the tyres around here.
When do you feel him go?
Quite early. This is obviously another replay.
Big trouble. Look, he just dented the back. Now he's done the front on those tyres.
He's done a 720 there too. He lost the rear before, head first into the tyre barriers at turn 1 and 2 throughout the Mobile S's. So you can feel him go early.
Yeah, definitely. This is a very coarse circuit. Actually, the tyres, when they pulled them off my car this afternoon, almost remind us of being at Wanneroo. Very coarse texture circuit.
Well, here's one of your teammates, Rodney Forbes, third of the 00 Motorsport Falcons. Bonnet's up. And the boys are shaking their heads. That doesn't look too promising. Look at this battle as they weave their way through the slower traffic. John Fortner giving way. Larry Perkins now is heading into pit lane. He's cut a tyre as well.
No, that's actually Russell Ingall. So Larry went shooting past. Gartander takes the outside line on there, and Ingall's front left is gone.
Now we're hearing from pit lane that Greg Murphy also has a flat tyre.
Oh dear, Rusty can help us with that one, Greg.
Well, just monitoring the radio, it sounds like the left front has gone, and it was a panicked Greg Murphy that was on the radio. The Kmart team look as though they are standing by. Is there tyre dramas developing here? Car 8, Russell Ingall. Maybe he has a problem. Stephen Richards is coming in as well, so there's lots of action in pit lane, and most everyone has done their compulsory stops.
Well, there's action on the track too, Rusty. We can confirm that tyre problem for Murphy. Ambrose has gone through. His teammate Todd Kelly has gone through. And there is Greg Murphy in trouble. Looks like a flat front left tyre.
Well, safety car conditions, the yellow flag is out, and Greg Murphy comes in.
Hey, mate, no problems. We're ready for you.
Oh, John Bow, front left too for him, but there's a lot of damage around there, so he's collected something, and David Bernard has collected the wall. That would have been really high speed.
Could well have been between those two cars. They would have been roughly on the same part of the track.
Yeah.
So we'll find out about that. Here is Russell Ingall, who cut that left front tyre. This place has gone berserk. Murphy in for the same drama. Grant?
Yeah, how funny. We're only really talking about how it's improved his championship position, but only opted to change the one. The front left tyre was the damaged tyre, and it's amazing how many cars are now coming in, running on 3 wheels.
Gee, there's been a spate of tyre failures, Lounsey. What do you put your finger on that?
Well, I'm not sure. A lot of it's due to lock-ups, so, you know, we just have to wait and see. The tyres have been moved. We saw Glenn Seaton move those set of tyres into turn 2. I don't know whether there's any bolts or anything sticking up out of the ground there.
Lights are out on the safety car. We're about to go back to racing. Marcus Ambrose at the front of the queue. Then he's got the Kelly gang behind him. Todd and Rick. This is a replay of Glenn Seaton's car going over the spike. Here's another one, John Bow.
Yeah, one of the problems, we were trying to work out exactly why we were getting so many flat tyres. See that spike right there? That was holding the tyre barrier together. Now the officials have got the sledgehammer and everything to that to get rid of it. That tyre barrier was wiped out by 2 cars. We are restarted and underway, and our new race leader is Marcus Ambrose. That's Todd Kelly behind him. Then it's Rick Kelly. Max Wilson is in 4th, Larry Perkins 5th, Dean Canto's in 6th, and Neil Crompton has now slid back on that timesheet that we've got there. We'll update that for you, check out exactly where he is. So back under race conditions, the spike has been removed. We shouldn't have too many flat tyre problems now, but we've certainly found out the answer. They did that while we're under safety car conditions. There's Cromley, he's come back in.
I think he's a lap down now as a result of those problems, showing 37 laps on our timing screen. First of the cars to go a lap down in the queue.
I think he's more worried about our dinner arrangements.
Look at this. We've got a Ford leading a V8 supercar race. Something we have not seen a lot of in season 2002. Rusty?
Well, Mark, I can tell you that spike which was exposed has really been quite bad for the Castrol Racing team. Both Russell Ingall and Steve Richards suffered dramas. Now have a look at this. This is the left front of Russell's car. He had quite a bad flat spot at the end of the back straight, but then when he hit that bolt or that spike where the tyres were held down, have a look at the aftermath from that. Dunlop do make very good tyres, but it's asking a lot for them to sustain that, isn't it? Goodness me.
I think so. They're not bulletproof, and I think Greg Murphy was another driver to succumb to the spike. Rick Kelly has really starred here this afternoon. Just 19 years of age, and the Holden Young Lions Commodore has been making rapid improvement throughout the season. Now, really in the thick of things.
Well, if he stays like this in 3rd position, it'll be the first time that Rick Kelly has been on the podium in a V8 supercar race. What an extraordinary young man. Talented driver out of a very talented family. Darryl Beattie.
David, I guess you worked your way up. You come up to about 10th or 11th, then you had the flat, you drop back, you work your way back up again. What a drive, but then unfortunately the crash.
Yeah, it's been the story of the weekend, unfortunately. Slow pit stop yesterday while we were running second. This morning we had the thing stuck in gear while we were running well. And now, I'm not sure if it was tyre or if there's something with the car. Not real sure what went wrong, but something broke. So who knows? You know, it could have been the tyres. Been a lot of flat tyres. Either way, it just went straight ahead into the fence. And I'll tell you what, that fence wasn't soft.
You all right though?
Yeah, well, you know what it's like, Darryl. You've had a few bingles in your time, and shut yourself off and go again.
Thanks, mate.
Thank you.
problems here for Stephen Richards, and he's bogged it too in the gravel. Just went straight off on the entrance to turn 3.
They may even bring another safety car out to get that car out of that gravel trap.
It's in a pretty vulnerable spot, isn't it, Craig?
It is actually just leading onto the back straight.
Stuck in the wall coming onto the straight.
Well, Marcus Ambrose has worked hard to try and open a gap, but look at car 51. The Kmart Commodore Murphy is flying. Safety car is on the circuit. So they're going to have to pull that Castrol Commodore out of there. And Greg Murphy making good progress at the moment. He's up to 8th. And at the moment, he's sitting 2nd in points for the day. Depending on how Marcus Ambrose fares here, Greg Murphy still in contention to win the day overall. Lights are out on the safety car after the officials were able to rescue the Castrol Commodore. We're going back to racing once again. Marcus Ambrose leading the pack. Todd Kelly in 2nd. Rick Kelly in 3rd. Wilson, Perkins, Canto. Murphy back in 7th. Car 51. And a number of laps spent behind the safety car. It's time lost for Murphy, trying to improve his position as the cars build up ahead of steam. Back toward the start-finish line. And we're back to racing.
Here we go again, and it's come down pretty much to an 8-lap dash to the finish. Across the line they go. Ambrose with Todd Kelly behind him, and Rick Kelly also on the hammer as well through turns 1 and 2. That's where the stake was that was causing problems.
Great performance from Dean Canto, up there in 6th place in the Caterpillar 40. Wouldn't have expected to be that high early in the weekend. So he's up there in the top 6, but Greg Murphy is coming up right behind him, and Murphy really has to make up as many positions as he can if he's going to be in contention for the podium.
Guys, just have a closer look at this. I've been talking to the Dunlop guys. This is a closer look at the left front of Russell Ingall's car. There is the puncture mark from the stake that's gone right through the tyre. You can see in this area here down towards the front where the tyre has actually collapsed through the sudden loss of air. But the problem they are worried about is 16 tyres they have found have all suffered the same fate. This exact same curvature is a reflection of the stake where it's punctured the tyre. What they're worried about right now is how many other cars ran over it that perhaps yet haven't suffered a tyre deflation.
Yeah, could be a question. There might be a real time bomb out there with some of those tyres. Greg Rust on the spot. Here's Team Brock.
What a wild spin.
Shattered front spoiler for Craig Baird.
He was in a top 10 race position there too. He was about 8th or 9th coming around to complete that lap. So Craig Baird, the Kiwi, had a wild ride, and then boom.
So Greg Murphy is a few cars back from this battle. His teammate Todd Kelly, though, well in contention for a race win. Let's have a look at the replay. Craig Lowndes.
Here he is, trapped in the middle there at Holden Hairpin.
Oh, he got a biff. It might have been from the VIP Pet Foods car.
And John Bow head first into Baird's car. It's another angle of it. Nowhere to go.
No, unfortunately, it's a corner that you can easily get tagged. I know that for a fact. But I'm looking at John Bow. He's running around the circuit. There is smoke coming out of his car, so I'm not sure whether he'll be pitting this lap as well.
He's already had a big hit. He's just taken another one right in the front of the car. Grant Denyer.
The bad news for Craig Baird now is he has a leaking radiator. As a result of that contact, he won't resume, but John Bow will be coming in. The guys have 4 sets or 4 new tyres to put on that car as well. That's their 5th stop for that team.
Well, I can tell you, overall on the championship points for the round, Greg Murphy is edging closer and closer to Marcus Ambrose in terms of winning the overall round. We'll just watch this pit stop and then I'll explain it for you. This is Garth Tander comes in.
Greg Murphy is pushing his way through the field. John Bow is in trouble. Saw him limping past our commentary box. Car 888 and all sorts of dramas. Here's our race leader, Marcus Ambrose. Todd Kelly in 2nd. Rick Kelly in 3rd. Then it's Perkins doing a great job.
And Greg Murphy's in 5th now. As far as overall points go for the round, look at John Bow. That's a sorry sight. Marcus Ambrose currently has 182 points for the round. If he remains in that spot, he'll finish ahead of Greg Murphy. But Murphy, back in 5th, has now collected 179 points. We'll have to sort it out when they finish, but Marcus Ambrose is holding on and holding on for an overall round victory. If Greg Murphy can make his way up another position or so, he should do enough to complete a round victory here at Pukekohe for the 2nd year running. Larry Perkins right up there in 4th position.
So the tail light hanging out of the back of the Castrol Commodore. Larry has really been on fire this weekend. Really loves this Pukekohe Raceway. Spent a lot of time here, racing in various categories, including open wheelers, earlier in his career. And now he's really stepping up to the battle. Look at this, right on the limit as he brakes hard. There's Greg Murphy. Car 51, you can see he's giving it everything under brakes. Murph on a charge, up in 5th spot. And pushing hard to try and get the top podium position here this afternoon.
One of the better electrical cars went off out the back door there. Probably it was Max Wilson. Yes, it was. Missed the hairpin completely, but rejoins the race.
Well, there's been some sort of problem for John Faulkner. He came in to fix a tyre, and as he's come in, the car's dropped back down. It looks like it's actually just burst another tyre on the front left. It's now dropped down on its guts on the front left corner.
Huge blowout for our race leader, Marcus Ambrose, at the hairpin, and the crowd go wild because that will put Greg Murphy in position overall for this round. A huge, huge blowout from the Pertec Ford, and the front right has gone on that one.
Well, that's interesting. It's on the right-hand side of the car. There was some suspects about that spike on the curbing hitting the left, but that's a right failure. You know, the Stone Brothers team will be shattered by that. That moves him down the order. Todd Kelly now goes to the race lead. Rick Kelly in second, Larry Perkins.
Check out the vibrations on the wheel there. He's just holding on, trying to control this beast of a car that's shaking around. And that just rattles your bones, and he's gone off.
I was going to say, Craig, looked like he was off cross-country there. Oh, look at this. Problems here for the VIP Pet Foods machine. So too, Junior Johnson. So right at the end, with a number of well-placed Fords, it's all gone haywire. For the Blue Oval, and
the left arm shake for Marcus Ambrose.
Trying to limp the car back to pit lane. So too, car 17. So 2 of the top Fords go out in a matter of only a few moments. So it's Commodores 1, 2, 3, 4 at the front of this pack. Let's have a look at the replay. Look at that. That's a frightening moment, Craig Lowndes.
Well, it is, especially when you're only trying to stop on 3 wheels. He did a great job to keep it on the black stuff. It's a damn pity. It's a damn shame, really, for Ford. You know, Marcus had a strong car this weekend. He was going along quite nicely. It's as Ross said, he did flat spot it, and that's probably what the cause was. Oh, look at it now.
These guys run a hell of a lot of negative camber on the front of the car to get good turn in, and maybe that's been too much for the tyres under heavy braking.
No, I wouldn't have thought so. I would have thought, you know, these cars all run pretty close to the same. We all run slightly differently, but, you know, these tyres are designed to put up with it. And Marcus is continuing on, so he must be trying to get to the finish.
Limping around with that damaged tyre. Look at this attack. Up the
Larry
inside by Larry Perkins. He gets him too.
He got him all right. Got him right on the door. He got Rick Kelly, and he squeezed past. Larry drops into second position. The veteran refuses to give up against the young charger and Rick Kelly.
Now you can ignore Russell Ingall, who's in that pack. He's a lap down, car 8, but Larry Perkins is well in contention here. The order: Todd Kelly, Larry Perkins and Rick Kelly.
Yeah, Todd Kelly takes the race victory, but in the end, Greg Murphy takes the overall round victory. So really a double success day for the Kmart racing team. Car number 15 wins race 3, but overall, Greg Murphy, the local Kiwi, has done it again at Pukekohe.
Well, wasn't that amazing? Toward the end of there, Marcus Ambrose giving him a real battle for the top spot on the podium as Stephen Johnson limps his way back. But Greg Murphy's done it. 186 points. He'll take the top points haul from the day, and that's 2 from 2 for the king of Pukekohe.